Welcome back to every NES game. I'm Slider and this is Conflict. I'm conflicted how to feel about this. That's probably not true at all. But yeah, as you can tell from these tanks and planes and whatnot, this is absolutely an action strategy game. So we can select that 3 units. That's how many units you can use in a turn. You can choose all or 3. And we chose the first level. Find the AI. Let's go. Now I did try this once, a short game, and failed miserably. Miserably! That's what you get for playing an NES strategy game blind. Now you do choose one of your bases. You can summon a unit to appear in the next turn. But in the meanwhile, we have some units to move. The move has been completed. That'll be all. So now we move this foot soldier, I guess. Now they're at their base, you can also supply them, I guess. Keep them supplied. It's probably also what the fuel tank over there is for. Fuel truck, or whatever. Supply vehicle. Close enough. Now the helicopter can move all around, including over the water. Now we've moved 3 units. The AI can move 3 units. And create a new one. I like to think of this game as Hexagon Advance Wars. It's probably not entirely true, but it's not drastically different, it seems. So yeah, after that, we have our turn again, and gotta create some sort of ship. It's next to the water, so we'll be able to move it. Now ideally, we want to get close enough that we can attack them in a turn, but not so close that they can attack us. We want to get the first strike, as it were. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. Where's the battle tank? We can move that over on this base, on the city, that is. Then they made what looks like a sort of long-range attacker. Reminds me of the rocket units from Advance Wars. That's what it looked like, at least. That's what I get for going in blind, I guess, but here we are. Blue is in control. Create an infantry unit, and after that... decided to play it a bit safer. Just move the unit a little bit. Try to see if we can get that unit near us. I want to be careful, but we want the enemy to do something eventually, so we can get to the battle screen. Here we go. Although he decided to battle this unit instead. Now when he's attacking, that's just the pause screen. One of the buttons was set to, I don't know. But yes, choose either defense or retreat. Try one of these two. We're gonna try defense, and our defense, we're gonna use hide. Now, this is, I think, somewhat random, depending on... I don't know exactly what goes into this, but you have a bunch of choices of how to, like... how to defend, whether you, like... like, it's a confusing system, honestly. Because that's the defense system, but one of the, things you can do is look, and that helps you find the enemy. Unfortunately, we got hit in the meanwhile. But it didn't do a lot of damage. But yeah, there are a bunch of different ways that all basic, but mostly other, options you have in defend. Basically, this is to, like, avoid damage, basically. Do you do this, and will this cause you to not get hit? And, at least on the surface level, it's really hard to tell how this is supposed to work. Now, because I got away from, there's also that. You can also get away from the enemy, and it'll make it difficult for them to attack you at all. They'll have to find you. They'll have to use their look command. Or survey command or whatever, in order to try to find you. And sometimes they'll succeed and sometimes they won't. Though generally, look works pretty well. Yeah, it's a very confusing, complicated system for an NES game, you know? Now we finally found him, so we can use one of our techs. Carbine gun or the SAM. I'm assuming that's a missile. Now they have to choose how they'll try to avoid the attack. Accelerated! And that worked. Yeah, and this is how battles go. Like in Advanced Wars, usually like you'll do attack and then the enemy will usually retaliate with an attack, and that's it. Until someone else tries to attack again on the like main map. But for this is like a full-on like long-term battle. While you can eventually like one of either you or the enemy can eventually escape. If you don't do that, it is basically a battle to the death. Fortunately, we've already taken quite a bit of damage. But then it just ceases fire. Like, it's, again, out of context, playing this mostly blind, it's really hard to say exactly how this works. It's kinda interesting. But this is definitely one of those NES games where, like, I'd be more interested in a later game on a later gaming system, where I feel like they would have a better idea, like, how to make this reasonable to get into. I feel like this is one of those games where if you don't have the instruction manual, you probably shouldn't even bother. Even then, I'm not sure that the game actually completely works as its own. Like, it's really hard to say either way. And granted, I'm not the biggest strategy game player in the first place. It's a bit difficult to figure out the menus. Like, if you move, you can't do any action until you stop moving, and when you stop moving, you can't move that unit again for the turn, obviously. And also, if you choose certain options, I still haven't figured out exactly how you get out of that menu to be able to look around. You can, but it doesn't always work. It's weird. But for now, we're gonna try to battle the plane that tried to attack us with our tank. It's another lawn battle. Okay, we found them. Now let's try to attack. Machine gun. We can't seem to use our shells on flying enemies, I assume. Unfortunately, that battle didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, the game definitely continues from here. It's a long-form game. The game is what it is, I guess. Or it isn't. Again, that's the point of this series, just to really look at games without knowing too much about them, for like, you know, going to games entirely blind. And this is what happens when you go into a game entirely blind on the NES that's like, you know, is complex in some level. The game won't explain anything, doesn't make too much sense, and you have to really try to figure it out, assuming you can even do that, or assuming it actually makes sense. And I could have, but like I find that less interesting than just going to this type of game entirely blind to see if like you can try to figure it out. And that's like the point of the series, if anything.